On day 67, some of our heroes are taken. Jack, Kate and Sawyer have now been taken to Hydra Island. In my video about the season 2 finale, I mentioned my theory that there was a ferry, more precisely the Pala ferry mentioned in the Pearl Station orientation video, that took them there. It docked, and the others transported them all to 3 different places on this station. Kate is brought inside the main building, Sawyer to one of the polar bear cages on the outside, while Jack, he is brought to an underwater section of this station, one we don't exactly know where it is, so this is why this map is fan-made. This is my theory. I've put it over here. Despite the vastness of the Swan, it is the Hydra Station that is the largest station on the island. It is filmed in Manoa Falls Paradise Park, a real-life attraction. It opened in the late 1960s, attracting busloads of school kids and tourists to see the exotic birds, learn more about Hawaiian culture, and see the gardens. And later they had a dinosaur exhibit and maze. The place closed down in 1994, meaning that it was perfect for the lost crew. The place is also adjacent to the Lion Arboretum. And look here, this is yet another small reference that the lost crew shot the show here. Therefore I've made a map of the main station, based on the main building at Paradise Park. A 21,421 square feet building, the main building with 4 floors and several walkways circling around it. It has a distinct shape, and I've tried to find blueprints on this, and this PDF is the closest one I could find, so this is the best thing I could come up with, by analyzing various photographs and videos of the place. The others take some blood from them, like they did with Michael. Sawyer is taken here to a polar bear cage, while Kate is taken inside the main building.
Rise and shine, Kate.
Where am I?
There's a locker room with showers here. Dharma employees used to handle polar bear feces, so having a shower area makes sense. Jack is taken down to the underwater part of the island. This is not filmed at Paradise Park in Oahu. This is filmed in their film studio. So the scenes going from this area to the outdoors area are cut between different filming locations. Therefore I've made a fanfiction area over here. I guess there is a hatch that goes downstairs to the aquarium. I've placed it on this side since every time characters go to or from the aquarium, they go here. Such as when Sawyer is brought back after the pacemaker scene, or when Jack is taken to the operating room. It has 2 rooms with a glass wall in between. There's a room in here we don't see. In here we have the cameras and a small gun locker. Jack wakes up, he yells. There's no answer. Kate wakes up, Tom is here and then leaves. In an off-screen scene, he'll take her clothes, go out of the station and burn them. Sawyer wakes up. Karl is there in the next cage. We don't know for how long he's been here. Might be quite recent. Back in the aquarium, Juliet comes down and greets Jack, and she leaves to get some food. Tom comes back to the main building, takes Kate out, and we see that the shower area and lockers are on the 2nd floor of this building. And based on the S-shaped walkway, I think they're on this side, perhaps. They get to the beach. Ben is here. The main island is not visible, so they are on the other side of the mountains. They eat breakfast together. Back in the aquarium, Jack listens to the intercom. He hears his father's voice. You can theorize whether or not this is Jack's delusions or the island. In the future, Jack will have several delusions of his father, to the brink of having visions of him off the island. Or it is the island testing Jack. There is a deleted scene where he rescued a girl at the playground who would appear in the same room as him. So yet another vision. Sawyer is testing the contraption in the cage. Karl asks how long it would take to get to their camp and how long of a walk that was. That is odd. I guess this means that this is Karl's first time on Hydra Island. He doesn't know he is on a separate island. Let's explore his character. The earliest instance of Karl doing something was that he developed the x-rays of Ben's tumor, so sometimes pre-September 2004. That's the earliest. He could have been brought to the island like many other people through Midlot's bioscience. Maybe a parent took him there when he was a young teenager, and that he was starting to learn how to use stuff like X-ray machines, grooming him to the new generation of others. Many people from the others could have just hung out in the barracks and not traveled to Hydra Island anyway. Also, I really like the idea that the time Ben spent locked up in the Swan Station was a time Karl and Alex spent a lot of time together, a lot of intimate alone time together. So when Ben came back, he might have caught Karl and Alex. So at some point, he knocked him out and brought him to the cage. As we will later learn, he tried to distance his daughter from Karl to avoid her from getting pregnant.
You locked Karl in a cage. You put him in a room and tried to brainwash him.
I didn't want him to get you pregnant.
Anyway, Karl breaks out and sends Sawyer in this direction. They run as fast as they can. Sawyer runs past 2 bird cages. They are not constructed by the Lost Crew. They are real bird cages from Paradise Park. In the Lost Universe, I bet this is one of the bird cages for the hybrid birds Dharma experimented on. Commonly known as the Hurlybird. Juliet finds him, they also find Karl. They bring them both to the cages. Sawyer is locked inside and then Karl is taken away to room 23. Back in the aquarium, Juliet once again brings food. Jack sits in the corner. He attacks Juliet, take her out, try to open this door, goes here, Ben stops them. Jack opens the door anyway and Ben hides in the surveillance room. The station floods. And then they get in here, push the button so the door will close, and the water is pumped out again. The Dharma Initiative used these rooms to capture sharks and dolphins. We saw the Dharma shark, the showrunners called Ezra James Sharkington, back in Season 2. During the Dharma days, the employees would likely sit here and observe while they let in the shark, and then push the button and pump out the water, while they hose up the shark to do their experiments. After Kate has her breakfast, we technically have a deleted scene. I haven't mentioned the deleted scenes earlier in this series, since they are, well, deleted, so they are not part of the show anymore. However, this one makes more sense with what transpires. When Tom takes Kate to the cages, we see that their hands are all scratched up.
Scratched you up pretty bad, didn't they? I'll bring you some antiseptic later.
And he says he'll bring in some antiseptics. After the breakfast, she would be taken to the locker room and try to get rid of the handcuffs using one of the lockers. So that's why her hands are bloody. Back in the cages, Sawyer gets a fish biscuit. Kate is brought to the other cage. Tom's comment about the bears is fascinating.
While you at it, I could use a blow dry.
Hey, you got yourself a fish biscuit. How'd you do that?
I figured out your complicated gizmos, that's how.
Only took the bears 2 hours.
How would he know? Either it means that he learned about the bears from some documents. There's so many followers of the Dharma Initiative still present after the purge. Or he was part of the Dharma Initiative, possibly fresh out of high school or something, landing an okay job at Hydra Island, and he was spared by the others and joined them, like Ethan and Ben. Sawyer asks for a blow dryer. I guess they do have blow dryers at the Hydra, since Juliet's hair is perfectly fine and dry after she's been drenched in ocean water. That's the season premiere. Next week we'll tackle the sailboat adventure in the Glass Ballerina.